Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where today I am very excited. It is a big day. We are back at Topaz Detailing where inside we're going to be getting a progress update with my new AMG GT R Pro. We saw it going through the wash bay and starting the detailing process. In about a day and a half, they have already miraculously done so much of the PPF installation, but that is not it. In the background, you might be able to hear the noise of my McLaren Senna that has arrived back here, and it is going to be going inside, following the repair work. There is still more to be done. It will be going for a shakedown, and it will also be going back for a few final confirmations before I get to collect it. But that is my car. That's the first time I've seen it driving for about 5 months. That's going to be going through the wash bay, also out here with the G, which very much needs a wash. But how cool is that? That was literally the first time I've seen it arrive. I'm excited now. Let's head inside then and check out what's going on. Here it is then, the Senna is back. It has been delivered back here to Topaz. It will be getting that pre-detail wash done before it has PPF installed on the new parts. You might remember, of course, we have the new quarter panel, we have the new door panel, a new wing on the rear of it. That looks awesome. That was literally the moment of arrival. Of course, the G has basically been my daily driver at the moment and is utterly filthy. Look at the windows. Sheer grime everywhere, disgusting daily driver. Having these two back together is awesome. Of course, I did actually come out for an update on the GT R Pro to see the PPF, so we'll be catching up with Nabil to take a look at that. But both of these together, again, reunited, I am buzzing, bursting almost with excitement, and cannot wait to see what we're going to be doing with this. But it's back. The Senna is here. I was just thinking I could hear something burbling, and yes, there goes a Zonda F Roadster, as you do out on the roads. Wow, we've got my Senna, the G together. The GT R Pro is actually inside, along with some other pretty epic cars. Now, we covered a lot of the pre-detail wash process with the GT R Pro. The wheels have been done getting rinsed down now, but of course, this is really important to make sure that you decontaminate it before you install the paint protection film, so that you don't get anything that's underneath the skin. You are perfecting the paint before you lock it in. The PPF itself will make it easier to maintain in future, but obviously we need this car to be perfect, and that is what is being done with it now. So while that entire process happens, it takes a while to go over it. Remember, although the car hasn't been driven recently, it has been sitting around a lot. It needs to be completely cleaned through. So yes, this will take an hour or two. We'll go inside then, find the wheel, and see how the GT R Pro is going. And there is actually something else as well, a surprise to tell you about later on, which is another thing I can't wait for. Inside and back with Nabil.
And it's all happening at once, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got the Senna, GT R Pro, and one more thing that I want to show you guys. So that's a little surprise.
Coming later on. So, should we go have an update?
Have a look. Yeah,
let's go check out the Pro, which is in some very good company in here at the moment.
A little bit.
And I'm going to quickly point out for you guys watching, actually, this is a number 9 edition of the new Bentley Continental GT that actually belongs to a close friend of mine. Beyond it is the Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. I still think it's ridiculous that you've got a Veneno right there being worked on.
I mean, even in this type of outfit where you've got so many amazing cars, that thing stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it?
Yes it does. Anyway, we're here to check out this. The GT R Pro that of course had to be de-striped, but I mean, it's looking very clean and tidy at the moment. The guys are, of course, working on the PPF at the back of it. But I think quite a lot of this is already done, isn't it?
It has been. I mean, we do motor here.
Yeah, literally.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's one of those things where, because we've seen the car before, we've got the patterns, it makes it a simpler install. So we invest a lot of time in the patterning side of things to make sure that the patterns fit well. So obviously now, I mean, to be honest, every time I go around a car, I have to feel the edges to know if it's got anything on there or not. But
and you can't often tell. I mean, even here, you have to look right around the edges to know. So I can tell quickly that the bonnet is done, the bumper is done, the wings are done. And the wings are interesting. Perfect example, actually, of having to make different templates. Because and the louvre has been reinstalled on the other side, but that louvre that's normally on there has to be taken off so that you can get the perfect finish.
And just to show you the detail, most people and other paint protection film installers, they would basically lay the film on there, install the original piece, and then cut by hand this area, which you won't see. And it's such an easy thing to do, but look, we designed these pieces.
Oh, you're literally around every single...
So around every single crevice and every single area, we've designed around it so that, again, we could have easily cut a corner there, but there is...
Everything's protected.
It's going anywhere near the car, so that's exactly one of those things. It takes much longer to do, but it's done properly.
And a few other things, obviously, new templates required for the front splitter for all of these parts. I mean, even the carbon layer, the painted layer, the canards, are these all done? Yep, you can just feel it around the back. Well. So all the lead edges, I remember talking about this before, obviously wrapped around to protect the lead edges.
Yeah,
which is,
again, that's all part of the patterning. That's why the patterning takes so long to do, because we look at every single aspect and say, okay, does it aesthetically look good? But more importantly, does it protect?
Yeah. So what else is done?
So that's done. Done.
Even this has it on.
That has film on.
That's a nasty shape to have the template.
Every single area, and it goes up to here on every single piece to make sure that, again, it's unlikely you're going to get a chip here, but
you never know.
But it's
on track or something. You never know.
You're right, and I've seen in the most obscure places chips going. I'm like, do you know what? Let's just protect everything. It's better just to do it that way.
Do you know the fun of this shape? There's a story behind why it's cut out like this.
Why?
It's the AMG logo. The 5 kind of stripes that go before the AMG lettering in that shape. There are some clever things like that.
This is why I like doing videos with you. I learn something every day.
Nerdy details. So PPF going on back here. This is also a new shape. We were just discussing.
This section here, isn't it?
Yeah, because this bracket on the GTR Coupe, it didn't have that bracket. It had a kind of blended body piece. So that's a new panel.
That's a new
panel. All has to be templated.
Spoiler's also new. That's a new template.
Having the gurney flap at the back of it.
Yep, exactly. Obviously the rear bumper is totally different from
with these flicks around the side, which make it really difficult to get the PPF inside here.
So we've had to develop these like really random tools to be able to get into small crevices.
Yeah.
And if I show you these tools, you'd be like, oh my god, it's really dodgy. But it's one of those things where you need to be able to access all these areas like this because you physically can't get your hand in. So.
Well, this is looking awesome. This is looking really good.
To go on as well.
Yep, roof. I think some of the rear parts. The bumper is the bumper done yet?
Nope.
No, the bumper's coming. So maybe we'll be able to see some of the process with the bumper being installed. But yes.
But I mean, how bright does it look now? Obviously, under these lights, it shows off everything. But I mean, how bright does the paintwork look? And that's down to obviously the paint correction that we've done.
Sure, and we did. I'm going to come around and squeeze behind to go and have a look at where some of the holograms and things were before. In particular, we were looking at them on this door, and it's wow. I mean, my camera's having focus issues because of how bright white it is, but you can see the reflections are significantly clearer and cleaner than they were before.
And you can also see the fleck, can't you? The flake of the paint
nice.
A lot more.
This is really, really, really nice. Number plates cheekily, just lurking underneath. All right, wow, we're in some good company as well here at the moment. Amazing. So, well, work in progress. We'll see some of the PPF installation.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it.
The Senna wash is complete then, which means for the first time we have the Senna with the GT R Pro. It is coming through. It's actually going to go upstairs to have the first stages of this done. But seeing that thing back on the move is very, very exciting. I am not going to lie. This, I can't wait to drive it again. I cannot wait to drive it again. Of course, like I said, there are a few more things that need to be done with the car, but it's going onto the car lift here. But like I said, for the first time then, Senna and GT R Pro, they are together, back here. Because how cool is that? They will obviously be living together in the garage. So this is being lifted up. I'm going to do my usual run around and get up the stairs before it, so that we can see the car from above. Run upstairs here and have a look. Oh, that's cool. A bit of Senna and Pro together. Nice, both cars here for the Topaz PPF. Look at that. You look at the aero on this car, and actually look at this Senna GTR, Senna, side by side. Epic. Maybe we'll see more of that if I can come back in. Yes, 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 yes. Having this back. So excited about that. Of course, overall, the panels that had to be replaced from the incident that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. Both layers of the spoiler, the end plate, this rear quarter, not that carbon panel. A new wheel though. It had to have the entire new door, which is painted 3 different colours on one door. The gloss black over the pillars, the cerulean blue for the main panel, and the tinted navy blue carbon along the side as well. Up front it also had a new mirror cap, and it had the front corner painted as well, but this is looking, I mean, like it's brand new, right? You would never know that anything ever happened to this car, and very soon it's going to be ready to drive again. I tell you what, I'd forgotten how good it sounds. 4-litre twin-turbo V8 grumbling away back here. This thing, what a car. It needs to be dried down slightly up here. But overall, yeah, good times to have it back. Good times.
times indeed. It is time then to start work on the rear bumper, and the first part is of course to prepare the surface, which was detailed before. It gets a slip solution that's sprayed all over it effectively, which then gets squeegeed down to remove some of the excess. There are a few different stages to this. We have seen it many times before, but it's fascinating actually to watch and quite mesmerizing. You can really kind of focus on what's actually happening. This is one large, very complicated piece though. If you think about it, one single panel, the cutouts for the parking sensors, it has to take into account the louvres and cuts, it has to tuck in around the sides of those carbon flicks as well. Now just squeegeeing away some of that, and of course it also has that number plate section that it has to come around at the bottom, and then you've got the intricacies of the carbon diffuser, which, well, that's multiple pieces to get all of that done in one. But we will follow the process of this. Gets another quick spray down then before the back rolling. So we have the piece here that's been pre-cut. It is all templated. It is all fully created for the purpose precisely. Of course, we had to remove some of the other components, or they had to take those off as well. We've got my car cover. We've got the harnesses inside the box, currently inside the boot of the car. This will then get back rolled, placed in approximately the right location, maneuvered around before it gets stuck down. This is where it begins then, the back rolling. So squeegeeing out the area under the start means it will at least hold in place temporarily. It can all be moved around, but the complexity of the template and all of the different pieces that are cut out and cut inside, and you can see the way some of this works, it is actually quite mind-boggling to take a look at and to try and work out all of the different parts, particularly on this diffuser. It's about 7 or 8 parts just for the diffuser. But you can see how this works, how it goes through there. We've got the cutout as well for where the number plate goes, and then all the way around. And then this can be maneuvered using the combination of the slip and the stick solutions to get it into place. Key part of this then, pull out all the parts like the parking sensors and just maneuver it all around, more slip solution basically to get it all exactly into place. It's a far more laborious process than you might think to actually get this all done. So at the moment it's about moving it around, getting it all correct and checking everything's all good, and then it will be about sticking it down. As you can see here, pulling out where those rear reflectors are, making sure that's all opened up as it should be. Important step then, finding the first place, getting it all lined up, and also having some slip solution on the outside of the film so that when going over it with a squeegee it doesn't cause any trouble. And then when it's ready to be kind of fixed in place, squeegee out the solution underneath, and that will loosely get it to hold and start working out from there. This then, now using some fixed solution, will hold it down in place. This is an interesting bit then. So some slip solution on the outside for the squeegeeing, some slip solution behind, and now this is the fixed solution to get it right in all the way to the corner. You can see to get that lined up. The template is of course made to match precisely. The fixed solution will then hold that in place basically when it's been squeegeed away, and this is always one of the important bits, as you can imagine, starting right from the outside. It's a bit of time and care to get that precisely in position. When that's squeegeed away, basically the paint protection film material will ultimately stay exactly where it is positioned. Just like so. And you can see, of course, how the entirety of the rest of the panel all just falls straight into place. And it's always quite fun, although it's hard to see actually on a white car. This is making it quite different to how we're normally doing this. First white car in quite a long time for me actually. The squeegeeing process, removing all the excess from underneath, and you get that kind of effect basically of the protection film sitting down flat onto the surface. And we are of course filming here one of the most complicated panels on the entire car. It'd be much easier doing flat surfaces or smaller pieces, the roof for example, because it's, well, apart from having that small bubble that you can see along the middle, a much more simple area. This is about as complicated as it gets. And just like that, as if by magic, you basically cannot tell there is anything installed. Of course, there's still some trimming to go around that side. If we come around to the other side, you can see there's a lot more still to be done. We'll catch up on the progress of this in a moment when all is finished.
Remember the surprise I was telling you about?
Oh yeah, what do we have here? That is cool.
There you go. Ford GT custom-made covers, car covers.
From Goodwill. Now, I alluded in a video recently about the fact that we were talking about this. Topaz are working towards becoming the UK distributor and reseller for Goodwill.
Yep.
And these covers, well, it looks like the exterior of the car on the outside of the cover.
So you can see through it.
It's really, really, really
fully
cool.
customizable. Again, the colours and everything are going to be very, very accurate. And yeah, you can customize every single part of it. How cool is that?
I love these. I've seen some photos of them before, and they just look spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got some samples here as well, right?
This is the actual material. So it's basically wool. It can hold up 35% of its weight in moisture without getting wet.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it keeps, whilst it's on the car, it keeps the humidity between 40 to 60%.
Okay.
And that's the reason why it's good to have it on the car, so that rust doesn't become an issue and all these kind of things. So it's got a technical thing and an aesthetic thing.
Not to mention it looks epic.
That's what I mean.
Really cool.
Exactly it.
And we can customize the colours, can't we?
Customize the colours fully
spot
and get everything that you want in terms of colour. So that's a little surprise I wanted to show you.
That is epic. I can't wait.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to look so cool in the garage. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A progress update here. The bumper main piece is now installed, and there is also a separate piece that matches up and literally lines in perfectly so that you won't see the join that covers where the number plate then goes on top, of course, with the pre-cut holes for the plate plinth that goes inside there. Then there are lots of other small pieces to go on that will go all around the diffuser. It is time now to do the roof. Of course, you can install PPF onto exposed carbon fibre. The way it's lacquered works exactly the same, and it might seem odd to actually PPF the roof of the car, but you never know what might drip if you park under a tree or something like that, which could damage the paintwork and make a complete mess of it. So you do actually want the entirety of the car protected as well for when you wash it in the future, so that you don't scratch the surface. And it's exactly the same. Spray over the slip solution, use a squeegee to wipe it off, just to make sure it's all fully cleaned and prepared. Spray it again before the back rolling will take place, and then basically get the film fully installed on a slightly easier panel on the outset. But don't forget, this actually curves over from front to back as well as from side to side, which means the material has to be delicately placed and stretched to actually go over the entirety of that. This is where it begins then. A little bit of squeegeed area, as you can see, just to make sure it sticks initially, so that the back rolling over the top is just a touch easier. And that then goes completely to one side, carefully over towards the other, where it can then be manoeuvred and adjusted into position. Time then to get fixing. So lots of slip solution over the top so that it's easy to move around and not damage again with the squeegee. Adjust it into position. The fix underneath, obviously, when it's squeegeed out, will effectively mean that is now in place. So you can work from one corner and kind of move it all around, although I think the trick is basically to get the corners in place and then adjust all the rest. See, the film has a little bit of movement capability within it. Obviously self-healing film that we use over all different areas of the car, which means that if it does get any light scratches, effectively heating it up, you can kind of get rid of those in future. But this is more or less how it's going to go on, very cleanly and easily, and then afterwards there will be no obvious sign that film has even been installed onto the roof. This is strangely satisfying. It's the last bits from underneath the film are squeegeed out. You can see the way it works over the contours. Obviously you have the edges that are done afterwards, which is where they're folded and wrapped over so that you don't see them on the finished result. And of course some trim pieces have been removed just to make this slightly easier to access. Those will be replaced afterwards. But pretty much get to wipe down. As you can see, you would not be able to tell there is a layer of film now over the top of the carbon fibre. It's the end of the day, we're going to sign off there then, but just to show you the progress at the moment, of course, a lot of the car is now covered, the whole of the front, just a few of the small bits still to go, the mirror caps, parts of the diffuser, I think parts of the wing as well, of course the reinstallation of the louvres, and something about the stripes. Now of course the GT R Pro is supposed to have the satin grey stripes. We had to remove those due to installing the PPF, otherwise we would have had gloss PPF over the satin grey. But we've been talking a little bit about a possible option in terms of the stripes, and no, I'm not going to give it a stripe delete. We are going to reinstall some stripes because it's a Pro. In my eyes, it should have some. But yeah, we're going to see how something comes out. So that might be in the next update with this. We shall see. In any case, though, this thing is looking menacing. I think it's going to be an awesome car, and I'm very much looking forward to what's to come. Of course, we'll need to get the plates fitted and installed on it as well. But the GT R Pro looking very nice now, thanks to the work here by the guys at Topaz. How cool is this though, to be reunited today with the Senna again, the coincidental arrival here at Topaz while I'm in to see the GT R Pro, and it is now not going to be all that much longer until I can take delivery and go and drive it again. Now there are a few more things that this car needs to do. Firstly, over the next couple of days while it's here, it will be detailed and have a new load of paint protection film installed on the panels down this side. Of course the original parts are all still protected, all of the gloss parts, the satin carbon fibre, but these parts were painted a few weeks ago. You need to leave the paint for a couple of weeks to let it sit, to let the paint completely set before you lock it in with protection film forever. So it's had a bit of time for that. Now that will get finished, but when it's done here at Topaz, it's actually going to go for one more stop. It's going to be heading back to the McLaren factory in Woking, about 20 miles away or so, and when it gets there, basically it's going to have a shakedown and go through the final quality control checks like a new car, basically to get it signed off and ensure that everything is done completely correctly. So we'll hopefully
fingers crossed, have an opportunity to see some of that. And then next up will be me going to collect it and getting to drive my car again. Now, I cannot wait. It has been a long time coming. In fact, it's been about 6 months since we saw this car out on the roads, so it is long overdue to get the fun started again, and plenty more adventures and videos to come. For today though, great to see the progress on the GT R Pro, very excited about the Goodwill cover for the Ford GT, and of course being back with the Senna. So thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I appreciate your support, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers!